Good morning, everybody. I'm just, thank you, Ken. Good morning. I'm just going to give it another minute. A couple of people have said that they are arriving, so I want to give them a chance. But just so everyone knows, you probably got the notification that this is recording since we were unable to figure out Facebook Live. Thank you for coming. I am Wendy Heckert. I am substituting for Ken. This is Ken's Sunday morning group, and he is on the road and has asked me to substitute for him, which I'm very honored to do so. So I'll just get started and people can pop in when they do. So I am covering for Ken this week and next week. So I am sort of creating a two-part talk meditation, if you will, around self-compassion. And I'm calling it Awaken and Empower Our Inner Caregiver. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So my intention this morning really is to hold space for your exploration of self-compassion. And I can only speak from my own lived experience. So that's always important to take in mind with whatever I am saying. And I really would like this space to be an offering. My intention is to offer inspiration for your curiosity. So I'm calling this Awaken and Empower Our Inner Caregiver for a few reasons. One, the word awaken is often used in spiritual practice for good reasons. And we talk about meditation, we talk about mindfulness, because we are bringing what's below our line of awareness into our field of awareness. This is what we're doing each time we sit, each time we practice. And as many of you probably have experienced, if you've meditated at least once, this sense of waking up. And in a way, what we're doing is disrupting the conditioned mind. And in my opinion, I think this is super radical. I was doing my morning meditation this morning. I realized, wow, I am pushing back every time I sit on the conditioned mind. And that is actually a radical act of self-care, of self-compassion, and even a radical act of how we engage with the world. So we are all, in my opinion, we are all born with an inner caregiver. First, the body. The body cares for itself. We don't have to do anything. It breathes. For most of us, if we cut ourselves, it heals itself. So if we think about our lifespan and all we've put our body through, it's pretty amazing we're all still here because it just keeps caring and caring and caring. Now, we could also reflect back on our childhood, and we can think about a time where we actually cared for ourselves, where we attempted to help ourselves meet a difficulty, confusion, uncomfortable emotions. For example, when I was very young, I sucked my thumb. And that's a common experience for many children. Why? Because it's a self-soothing. My inner caregiver, my survival really mechanism to soothe myself. In a way, I was already showing up for myself. Now, life goes on, and there may be behaviors that we engaged in to help ourselves in the moment that no longer serve us. And we could see that, and we learn to let those go. And we continue to learn ways of caring for ourselves. Now, as adults, we're all caregivers in one way or another. Whether we have children, that's a pretty obvious way of caregiving, whether we're caring for elderly parents or someone that's ill. But if you have pets, you caregive for your pets. If you have plants, I was thinking about how I was caring and tending very gently and consciously to my plants. So we are all caregiving in some capacity now. But what has happened over our lives is many of us sort of forget how to sort of do that U-turn and come back and tap into that inner caregiver when we are in confusion, difficulty, pain, suffering. And so what practices of self-compassion do is it awakens this inner caregiver. It taps into our natural inclination to care and to have compassion for our past selves, for our present selves, and even for our future selves. And so each time we sit and practice, we are meeting ourselves. Every time we sit in meditation, we meet who we are in this moment. And we could do that with kindness, we could do that with love, empathy, and we continue each time we sit, even if it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes it can be really challenging. The busy mind really can throw us off. But we wake up each time we make that effort, that commitment to meet ourselves in the moment. And what is it that we're waking ourselves up from? I think we're waking ourselves up from this trance that Tara Brach talks a lot about, if you're familiar with her, this trance of unworthiness or not enoughness or not fill in the blank, whatever your not something is for you. And as we awaken and continue to awaken, because I don't think the awakening really ever ends, we just get more and more and more awake. At least that's what it has felt like to me. We also empower that inner caregiver. So we end up having this sort of fierceness of caring and compassion. We begin to choose our wholeness in the midst of challenge. We choose our humanity over the pressures of really this sort of dominant paradigm we all live in that keeps telling us, do more. You didn't meet it this time. You're not good enough. Look at that person. All those sort of, critical voices that we each have. And they sound different to each person. But every time we meet ourselves, in a way, we're pushing back on that and we're waking up from it. And that's empowering. It excites me. It energizes me. It inspires me to feel a sense of liberation. So self-compassion is welcoming ourselves home. So what we will be doing this morning in meditation is we will be welcoming our entire self home. We will be opening that door and we will meet ourselves with excitement and welcome. And we'll see sort of what happens. Bringing that curiosity. What's going on with me this morning? So Dharma teacher Martin Aylward, he just recently wrote a book, Awake Where You Are, which I highly recommend. It's all about embodied awareness. He's really such an amazing teacher. And he describes compassion this way. He says, compassion from its Latin root literally means to suffer with. That is, to be in solidarity with suffering, to tend to it, respond to it, seek to relieve it. This is love in action. Compassion is the love that responds, the love that does not turn away, the love that tends to pain, the love that opens to suffering. So when we are turning towards our pain with love, I mean, that is what an ideal caregiver does. Now, maybe we didn't have that type of caregiver in our lives. So we're really having to sort of teach ourselves how to show up for ourselves. But this, in my opinion, is the radical and powerful benefit of self-compassion. So we are opening the door to our whole self when we engage in self-compassion, not leaving anything out. And that's why self-compassion can be challenging for lots of us. There are parts of us we don't necessarily want to take a look at, but that part probably needs our caregiving more. A quick story, a couple of years ago, oh gosh, maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago, I was trying to get a compassion course off the ground. And, this is way before the pandemic, so people are actually all around. And I was speaking to a woman at an event, sharing with her about my class. And she said something to me that still sticks with me today. She said, "Oh, that class sounds great, but I don't want to get to know myself that well." And I was like, okay. And for years, that statement continues to come back to me. I don't want to know myself that well. At first, one might think, oh, that's really sad. That's unfortunate. But if we think about it, there are so many parts of ourselves that we really, through our lives, haven't really wanted to look at because it's painful. So what self-compassion does for us as we practice it, and sometimes it's just dipping the toe in the water. It's not a polar plunge because that might be too much. So you just dip your toe in these practices. And as you dip your toe more and more, you're like, oh, okay, I could go a little further. I could go a little further. And we continue to get to know ourselves. We continue to arrive home. And the experience of that is, for me, so challenging to find a way to describe it. You just have to start experiencing it. And that's why your own practice is so important. So that you can determine, how do I get to know myself a little bit more? How do I need to care for myself in this moment? And reminding yourself that you have that innate capacity to show up for yourself. And when we doubt that, that is the conditioned mind. That is the dominant paradigm that keeps telling us, no, you can't trust yourself. Trust me. Trust out here. But we can. And that's what we're building through these practices, is that inner trust in our capacity to care and love for ourselves. So before moving into the meditation, I just want to read this poem to you by Julia Feirenbacher from her new book, Staying in Love. I just find some of her poetry just really just hits the mark, really. The poem is called The Most Important Thing. I am making a home inside myself, a shelter of kindness where everything is forgiven, everything allowed, a quiet patch of sunlight to stretch out without hurry, where all all that has been banished and buried is welcomed, spoken, listened to, released. A fiercely friendly place I can claim as my very own. I am throwing arms open to the whole of myself, especially the fearful, fault-finding, falling apart, unfinished parts, knowing every seed and weed, every drop of rain has made the soil richer. I will light a candle, pour a hot cup of tea, gather around the warmth of my own blazing fire. I will howl if I want to, knowing this flame can burn through any perceived problem, any prescribed perfectionism, any lying limitation, every heavy thing. I am making a home inside myself, where grace blooms in grand and glorious abundance, a shelter of kindness that grows all the truest things. I whisper hallelujah to the friendly sky. Watch now as I burst into blossom. I will put the name of that in the chat towards the end, the title of the book. So let's practice. We're going to do a practice called loving all parts of yourself. I was first introduced to this. My friend Javier, who is here, shared a meditation with me by Dawn Mariko via the 10% Happier app. And she learned this meditation from Susan Piver. And now I am going to share a version of it with you. And it is a sort of an interesting take on the traditional loving kindness, where we are going to focus on different parts of ourselves and offer those parts loving kindness. So if you're unfamiliar with loving kindness practice, it is just a practice of wishing well-being. So I'll offer phrases. If those phrases don't resonate with you, feel free to choose your own. This is your practice. This is just an invitation. You take what you want, you leave what you don't. So find a comfortable posture where you can remain alert, yet relaxed. You can close your eyes, that's supportive. You can lower your gaze. Or if you're really finding yourself restless this morning, feel free to listen to this meditation as you walk back and forth. If you need to lie down, lie down. It is so important that you decide what is supportive for you this morning. This is the beginning of tapping into your inner caregiver. So taking a few deep, nourishing, conscious breaths. Breathing in through the nose, drawing the air all the way down into the belly, feeling it expand, and just releasing it like a deep sigh. And feeling the body relax, any residual tension from yesterday, from your sleeping, letting it just melt away. So breathing in and exhaling out. And feel free as you exhale to get some vocal vibration. That could be another form of relief. It's breathing in and And letting go. Now allowing your breath to find its natural pace. Noticing where the breath is most accessible to you this morning. Perhaps it's the rise and fall of the chest. Perhaps it's in and out through the nostrils. Maybe it's in the belly. And just place your attention very lightly on where you notice the breath. Now feel your body contacting the chair, the cushion, the floor. Feeling the weight of your body. Feeling the air contacting your skin. Maybe it's cool, it's warm. Even noticing your clothing contacting your skin. Allowing a sense of gratitude to yourself to arise as you are gifting yourself this time to meet yourself, to bring curiosity to your inner landscape this morning. Welcome yourself home. You can even say, welcome home. I am here. Now choosing an anchor for you to return to whenever you need to throughout this meditation. That could be your breath. That could be your body contacting the chair. It could be your hands in your lap or your feet on the floor. Somewhere in the body that you can return to if you begin to notice busyness of the mind and getting wrapped up in the past, in the future. The mind is a busy place. It's so natural and normal for it to be working real hard. We could thank it. Thanks for working so hard, but I'm coming home right now. And using your anchor as a means to come back into presence. The body is always present. We will sit with some silence for a few minutes, and then I will bring us through loving kindness practice. So each time the mind wanders, just notice the kindness, curiosity, and gently guide it back to the present moment. I invite you now to bring to mind an image of your ordinary self, just as you are, the person you see in the mirror. And repeat these following phrases or any phrases that are supportive for you for your ordinary self. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. And just noticing with curiosity and tenderness what arises in the body as you send these wishes of well-being to your ordinary self. There's resistance, that's okay. You're just dipping your toe in the water. If it's helpful, you can place a hand on your heart center, and the tender touch can soften the body and open the heart a bit more. So repeating these phrases one more time to your ordinary self. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. You live with ease. Just noticing what's happening in the body, what's happening in the mind. As you practice seeing yourself through the heart center, beginning to tap into your inner caregiver. Now bring to mind the version of yourself that is lovable or loved. If that is difficult, you can look at yourself through the eyes of someone you trust. So whatever arises when you think, the version of myself that is lovable or loved. And if you're not sure, choose someone to look at yourself through their eyes. And just notice your response or reaction as you call up this part of yourself. And just allow whatever comes to be there just as it is, knowing that you are just getting to know yourself. And repeating the same phrases or whatever phrases are supportive for you. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. And each time the mind wanders, use your anchor or use these phrases to come back to the present moment, meeting this part of yourself right here, welcoming this part home. So again, the version of yourself that is lovable or loved. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. Allowing the words to soak into your body like sun rays contacting your face on a beautiful, bright summer day. Now bring to mind the version of yourself that is your most important teacher, the wise and awakened part of you, the one that already shows up for yourself. Just see what you can tap into. What arises when you consider, the version of myself that is my most important teacher, the wisest and awakened part of me. That may come up as an image, or it may just come up as a felt sense, or maybe you're just not sure, and that's okay. The intention is what's most important here. So, with the intention of tapping into your wisest, most awakened part of you, repeat these phrases. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. Bringing curiosity. Allowing whatever is happening to be just as it is. There's no right or wrong. So once again, to the wisest and awakened part of you, may you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. Bring to mind the version of yourself that is unknown, that you cannot yet see. That may even be mysterious to you. Just notice what comes up when you contemplate, version of myself that is unknown. And offering the same phrases to this part of you. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. The version of yourself that you cannot yet see. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and safe. May you be guided by love. May you live with ease. Allowing yourself to notice what's happening in the body, what's happening in the mind, state of your heart. Allowing it to be just as it is. Now bring to mind the difficult part of yourself, not the part you dislike, but the part that may be fragile, that may be hurting, may be in pain or suffering. This is where placing the hand on the heart center can really be supportive as we bring to mind this difficult part of ourselves. Perhaps the part of you that you're least likely wanting to meet right now. May you be happy and peaceful as much as possible. May you be healthy and safe as much as possible. May you be guided by love as much as possible. May you live with ease as much as possible. Reminding ourselves that it's the intention, not the achievement. We are wishing this difficult part of ourselves loving kindness. And that's why we use the phrase as much as possible. May you be happy and peaceful as much as possible. May you be healthy and safe as much as possible. May you be guided by love as much as possible. May you live with ease as much as possible. Noticing what it feels like to care for this part of yourself in this way. To wish this part of you well-being without condition, just with love and support. Now we're going to bring all of these parts of ourselves together. All of these parts that make up this unique life that is you. You're interesting, you're wise, you're mysterious, you're difficult. All of these parts of you, your whole self. Let's offer our whole selves loving kindness. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and safe. May I be guided by love. May I live with ease. May the whole of myself be happy and peaceful. May my whole self be healthy and safe. May my whole self be guided by love for myself. May my whole self live with ease. Alexandra L., a writer, a poet, self-care activist, writes, self-love feels like looking yourself in the eye, taking a deep breath and saying, I see you. Self-love feels like looking yourself in the eye, taking a deep breath and saying, I see you. So open that door. Greet yourself this morning. Look at yourself in the eye and say, I see you. I am here for you. I will care for you no matter what. Noticing if anything has shifted for you since the beginning of this meditation. As you've attempted to see all these parts of yourself, what have you noticed? And considering how you can show up for yourself today as you move out of this meditation and into the world. perhaps a reminder or aspiration or intention to guide you through the day today. How will I be a caregiver to myself today? How will I meet myself in moments of difficulty? And I'll end with one last quote by Sharon Salzberg. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is most deserving than you are, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. So take a deep breath in, exhale out. Your eyes have been closed. You could flutter them open and just acclimate back to your surroundings. Take a look around. Notice what's happening in the body. And I'll read Sharon's quote one more time. Sharon Salzberg, for those who may not have heard of her before. She really is sort of the mother of Western loving kindness, bringing these practices here to the West. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving than you are, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. We will be bombarded with messages externally, even internally, that we don't deserve our love and affection. And it can be really subtle. We don't even know it's happening. This is why we bring what's below the field of awareness into awareness. This is why we experimented with different parts of ourselves, so that we can keep cultivating our self-compassion for all these parts of ourselves. And we can remember that we have this innate capacity to show up for ourselves and continue to keep trusting our inner wisdom. So I am so, so grateful for having this opportunity to share my thoughts with you, to guide you in practice, to hold this space for you all to explore your inner caregiver. And I encourage you just to pay attention today and notice when you're showing up for yourself, even if it's in the smallest way. Remember that, because that's your inner caregiver showing up. And you're like, oh, there's that caregiver. Or when you're in a challenging situation, all right, what do I need to support myself in this situation? And just dropping in that question and seeing what comes up. So I'm excited about you bringing this practice into your daily life. I look forward to next week, where we'll start to explore sort of the common humanity. Because self-compassion, according to Kristen Neff, has 3 parts: mindfulness, common humanity, and self-kindness. And today we practice some mindfulness, some self-kindness through the loving kindness practice. And then next week, we'll explore more about our shared humanity, how we through self-compassion, we actually can connect with others. So thank you so much for your time. I am going to put the title of the book in the chat. It's Staying in Love is the title of the poetry book by Julia Feirenbacher. Let me try to spell her name correctly. If you are at all intrigued of learning more about me or contacting me, I threw my website and my name here, growingourvoice.com. If you have questions, I want to explore this more, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I hope to see you next week. Be well. Thank you so much.